Every child wants to live in a fairy tale.
One day, I'm gonna be a princess, and a handsome prince will sweep me off my feet. He'll take me to his castle, buy me nice clothes and things, protect me. He'll love me. Yes, he will. We'll have a big bedroom and share a big bed, just like grown-ups do. Then, he'll share me with other men. They'll touch things they shouldn't touch, hurt me, rape me. I'll be scared, but so long as I give my prince the cash, he'll take care of me until I do something wrong. Then he'll beat me with a baseball bat and leave me on the side of the road for dead.
That video was made to raise awareness over child sex trafficking. People think they know where in the world this horrific crime is taking place, but they don't.
Amsterdam,
South America,
Vietnam,
Thailand,
China,
Mexico.
I would say primarily outside the U.S.
Common perception is that it happens in far-off places where kids live in extreme poverty and their rights aren't valued. Well, it's wrong. Over 100,000 children become victims of sex traffickers every year in the United States. That's a huge number for one of the world's most prosperous nations. Well, joining me in the Now tonight is Karol Smolyansky, director of an American nonprofit organization that works to stop sexual exploitation of children. Thanks for being with us, Karol. Why are Americans not aware that this is happening and at an extraordinary rate?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I've been working on the issue of protecting children from sexual exploitation for many years now as part of ECPAT USA, and it's a very hard sell to convince Americans that it happens in our country, but it does happen here too. People, I think, would much rather see it as something that happens far away, doesn't have anything to do with them. It's bad people or bad parents or bad exploiters in other countries who do it. Really hard for them to recognize that it's happening right here in the U.S.
How do children, American children, become victims of sex trafficking?
Yeah, well, let me just give you a few definitions. First of all, we call anybody who's under 18 a child, and by American law, any child who is induced to perform a commercial sex act is defined as a victim of human trafficking in the United States. It's a federal law that was passed in 2000. But I guess one of the reasons that it's hard for Americans to understand that it happens here, too, is that the poverty is not as acute in the United States as it is in some countries. But there is a certain amount of relative poverty, and there also are many kids who are just not well taken care of by the social safety net, by their families, by society in general. So kids who are perhaps more at risk for being recruited into exploitation are sexually abused kids. As one of the pimps in one of our reports put it, it's my job to teach. These kids have been raped so many times, it's my job to teach them. They might as well get paid for it. Runaway and homeless youth, kids who are living on the street, will often be just out of desperation trading sex for a place to sleep tonight or for a meal or for some money. Foster care kids sometimes are not very connected to the families that are supposed to take care of them and are very vulnerable to pimps who are actually actively out there recruiting young people for the trade.
100,000 children per year. How big is this a number compared to other first world countries?
Well, I actually can't answer that. I can say that ECPAT is an organization that works in 74 countries around the world. We started in Asia, and when we first started, every country that ECPAT workers approached to discuss this issue said, we don't have that in our country. But just scratch the surface a little bit, and every country has this. That's what we have found over the years. So I don't know the magnitude in other countries. I just know it exists everywhere.
Do you think that the U.S. government is doing enough to fight the problem, to bring awareness to the problem?
I really think so much more has to be done at every level. I think it has to be done by the U.S. government. I think it has to be done in the United States by state governments. I think it has to be done by corporations with whom we work quite closely in many cases to make sure that they have protections in place, for example, in the hospitality industry, so that kids are not being exploited anywhere in their sites. I think individuals have a big role to play. Just by acknowledging that it happens here, too. Look at our video. Share our video. I know you played the one that had to do with dragons, but I hope that you will also play the longer version of the video, that it happens in the U.S., 100,000 kids, lots of kids at risk. Boys are exploited, too. And if we just start talking about it, that will open the doors to doing more about it.
We're certainly trying to give as much coverage to this as possible, and we continue to follow it and to continue to talk to people like you and your organization.
Really appreciate it.
Carol Smolensky, director of the American nonprofit organization that is working to stop sexual exploitation of children. Thanks so much.
Thank you.